Hi everybody, I'm Larry David. I'm bringing you Game 3 of XP vs DD in the Dota 2 Europe Challenge. XP is on the Radiant. The series is tied up 1-1. If you haven't already watched the other VOD, highly recommend you check it out. It's a pretty interesting late game battle. XP on the Radiant, DD on the Dire. Still waiting for M to load in, and it should be interesting to see how the draft plays out. We saw an anti-mage in the last game just be really too much for XP to handle, so you don't see that here make it through the banning stage too often. Perhaps the last game was a great example of why. Wouldn't be surprised to see XP ban that one off pretty early. Or maybe they feel they just made some mistakes and they can do it better this time, and we'll see him slip through again. This time they do have the first pick, so maybe they'll leave him in the pool and look to pick him up first. I wasn't able to really watch the ban pick for the last game as I got into it just as the actual game was starting, so not sure what was banned. I'm guessing, standard heroes like Broodmother Chen, or a Shaker.
5 seconds remaining.
So we'll see. XP with the first ban here, taking a lot of time with it. I'm a little surprised they don't know what they want to ban, as there was quite a bit of time between the two games, but they're taking their time here, so we'll see. It is going to be a Broodmother ban. Invoker the immediate reply.
Radiant team ban.
So pretty typical bans here. Broodmother, just a great pushing hero, decent mid-game carry. Just a pain in the butt to deal with in general. An Invoker obviously has a scary amount of CC. Can be really devastating in team fights. A great ganker too. And really has not been seen much. He's usually been banned, and the one or two times we've seen him, he's been pretty powerful. If anyone hasn't checked out the game where Bulba on Team Gosu played him, I definitely recommend you do. He was absolutely on fire. And we do see a Night Stalker and Anti-Mage ban. So DD not wanting to get a taste of their own medicine, going to be banning that Anti-Mage. It's a great choice. That leaves Prophet in the pool, and Shadow Shaman and Chen is available as well. I'd expect those two to be the reply. Pretty good way to deal with the Prophet is to just pressure the other lanes. And not let and make his team give up something to defend the towers, or to let him push the towers. So we'll see how they choose to respond. Obviously, picking up Prophet. Another reason it's a great pick is it doesn't really say anything about your lanes. He can solo the side lane. He can go middle as a solo, or he can jungle. So he's pretty effective in every role. The only thing is that he does require to be on his own, or else he's not going to get much. He's not going to get quick level 6. He's not going to be very effective. Venomancer is the reply. A great anti-push hero, so DD pick up one of their supports pretty early on. Those Plague Wards just so strong against any pushing lineup. And good for pushing as well, so really versatile. Obviously a strong ganker with the Venomous scale. So curious to see if anyone... I'd be really surprised if they didn't take either Shadow Shaman or Chen here. Then they do go with Shadow Shaman.
Radiant team pick.
Actually, while they're picking, I'm going to bring up the list of heroes so I can actually see who's still out there, as there's always a few that I seem to forget. Okay, so let's see here.
10 seconds remaining.
There's still a Dragon Knight in the pool. We actually didn't see him last game. I'm not sure if he was banned either. Dragon Knight, he really fills a nice niche between being a decent late game hero as well as a strong pusher. Between that Fire Breath as well as the level 1 Dragon form, he's quite a pain to deal with. He's also really hard to take down, and he benefits well from the farm too. Like I said, he's a pretty decent late game hero. Very tanky, has that spammable stun, has that Frost Breath, which when he gets that level 3 ultimate at level 16, it's pretty much like an epicenter every time he attacks. Faceless Void is the pick, so XP taking that Void really early on. They want the best late game hero that's left in the pool, and they're going to get it because Anti-Mage is banned out. Spectre and Weaver, still pretty good late game heroes. Spectre in particular, not very good against Void though. If he gets caught in the Chronosphere, Void can usually bring him down. So we'll have to see. Skeleton King is around, but he hasn't gotten his buffs yet, so I doubt we'll be seeing him. Slardar may be a more likely pickup. That Fairy Fire is really strong against any carry. Mirana is the pick. So Mirana's going to be one of the
Team
side lane
banned.
solos. I would expect to see Shadow Shaman mid, Venomancer supporting in one of the side lanes, maybe roaming. So it's now time for a second round of bans.
Dire team ban.
There's still an Enigma in the pool. Sand King is going to be the ban. And he would actually fit in pretty well, so I like that pick, or I like that ban from
Radiant
XP, because he
team
would fit in
ban.
well with their lineup. Giving them just a little more initiation and disable. Enigma is the reply. Ancient Apparition is still in the pool. And I'm actually shocked that neither team has picked or banned Chen yet. This is, considering all the games that I've been, for the past week or so, Chen has been pretty much picked or banned every single game, and he's usually been picked or banned in the first picking or banning phase. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen that yet. Beastmaster's still around. Beastmaster actually a pretty strong reply to the Faceless Void because his ultimate goes through the BKB. Slardar and Lich going to be the bans here.
Radiant team pick.
The Lich ban really smart, and I should have noticed that myself actually. Lich combos extremely well with the Faceless Void. You can put the Frost Armor on him, which really would make a Slardar pick or anything, any sort of melee DPS or mid to late game hero completely, or a lot weaker against the Void because they get a lot of minus attack speed and the armor buff is obviously huge. And then of course the Chronosphere and the Frost Nova,
10 seconds
just a
remaining.
devastating AoE ultimate combo. And then you throw in the Prophet ultimate, you throw in a
5
Shackle
seconds
Shot,
remaining.
and you're looking at one roasted Dire lineup. So a good ban on the Lich. Ancient Apparition is still around though, and they do need a support. They might need more than one, depending on how they choose to lane this Void. I'm thinking they might dual lane him mid, put Prophet on a side lane solo, or maybe Prophet in the jungle.
Calls the Crystal Maiden.
And they're going to pick up Crystal Maiden, so expect to see her babysitting the Faceless Void. Probably not going to be roaming too much early. That's one way to shut down the Shadow Shaman too, and we saw it last game. XP had some issues because they had to dual lane him. Void not as good at getting those early kills as Anti-Mage though, just doesn't do as much damage, and you're counting on the bashes, which are always hit or miss, especially early on. Can still do it, but just not as likely. So the Dire is going to need
10
at least one more
seconds
support. Tidehunter's still in the pool, they might go that route.
5 seconds remaining.
Earthshaker and Slardar actually banned out, but Earthshaker is around. We
Reserve
haven't
time.
seen him as much recently, and I think the reason is he's just not as effective without a Blink Dagger, and he's a harder time getting there than someone like a Sand Cane, who farms better and has more ways to escape between the Burrow Strike and the Sandstorm. And like I said, he farms better with that Caustic Finale, as well as the Sandstorm, allowing him to farm, without having to spam his spells too much. So we will see here. XP looks like they probably need another solo. Unless they want to do Prophet mid. They could do Prophet mid, Windrunner on the long
Radiant
lane,
team pick.
and then tri-lane the Void, and maybe have the tri-lane start roaming. So Tidehunter is the pick here for DD. They're going to get some great team fight, but still no real late game answer to this Void except winning the early game. And Chen's going to be the pick. I cannot believe he lasted that long. So we're going to see Prophet soloing one of the side lanes, most likely. Probably a dual lane Faceless Void mid. I would expect to see Prophet in the safe lane, Windrunner in the long lane, or the suicide lane, Faceless Void dual laning mid with Crystal Maiden, and Chen in the jungle. And they've now got amazing push power between the Chen and the Furion. Great late game with the Faceless Void, as well as Prophet and Windrunner can be decently effective in that role if they get some farm. And then, of course, you've got the great support with the Chen ultimate. The Chen's ability to send Void back to base if he ever gets into trouble.
5 seconds.
Crystal Maiden, some very good support spells. So what will DD reply with here?
Reserve time.
Will they go for another late game type hero and look to challenge XP in that regard, or are they just going to go all in with more of a mid game lineup? Night Stalker is he's actually banned. Maybe a Bounty Hunter.
Enchantress.
They're going to go Enchantress, so they're going to reply with a jungler of their own. Honestly, I'm a little surprised they didn't pick up Chen and then see if Tidehunter sat around, because XP really was looking towards that jungle so that Prophet can jungle, but if he sits in the lane, he can gank a lot more effectively because he doesn't have to spam mana on the tree ants. He can save his mana for TP and Sprout, which really limits his ability to be effective in the early game. And he also levels a little bit slower, so I'm a little surprised they didn't take the Chen. Enchantress, however, does give you a little more late game. That Impetus is a pretty good damage spell. It does that pure damage, so it's not going to care too much about the Faceless Void's high armor on an agility hero. However, he can backtrack it, so that's still something to be concerned about. in terms of how DD will lane
10
it,
seconds remaining.
I'm guessing the Shadow Shaman will go mid. Enchantress in the jungle,
5
obviously.
seconds remaining.
And then I guess we'll see Mirana in one of the side lanes. It's hard to say how they're going to lane it. We may see a Venomancer solo. And that can actually be quite powerful. We normally see him in the support role. But before we talk about the lanes, let's just go over the players real quick and introduce them. We have lowercase m on the Shadow Shaman. Looks like he's headed mid. We have Link on the Venomancer. Looks like he's headed top. So Link not playing the hard carry. It's a little unusual, at least from the games I've watched of DD. Uppercase M, going to be playing that Tidehunter. Bryze on the Enchantress. Looks like he might be doing a little offensive jungling. And we have Angel on the Priestess of the Moon. On the Radiant side, we have Loda on the Faceless Void. Nagaraya, I don't think that's his actual name, but I'm not sure who that is. If anyone knows, let me know in chat. On the Windrunner. Miracle on the Crystal Maiden, going to be playing that hard support role. Pycat on the Nature's Prophet, going to be soloing mid, so I was wrong about the lanes, but Prophet solo mid can be really good as well. I'll talk about that in a minute. Ake on the Chen, going to be doing what looks like a little offensive jungling of his own. Nagaraya being really bold with these ward placements. Going in by himself, we usually see teams doing something more like what DD is doing and send the entire lineup into the jungle just to protect themselves against a counter gank from the enemy team. So it looks like the Radiant is wise to this, and they're going to be playing defensively. So in terms of the lanes, we're going to have Loda with Miracle babysitting him on the safe lane. But with Chen on the offensive jungle, I don't know how well he's going to farm. Although if it's against the Soul Mirana, should be getting decent farm. And he has opted for that early Quelling Blade, so he will have an easier time getting those last hits. Tidehunter and Venomancer Enchantress already headed towards the middle lane. A really aggressive middle ward being placed here. On the high ground, Prophet going to use these treants to scout. Really smart play by him, although I'm a little surprised to see him not at least holding the skill point, but perhaps worried about this gank, as he does see there are a couple heroes off the map right now. They want to set something up early. I think they were looking for the Chen, but Chen is going to be, it looks like he is going to be defensive jungling. And Enchantress is going to be denying him that, so he's going to have no choice but to go into the enemy team's jungle here. I expect to see him do that shortly. Ake might get caught here. He's not in a great position. Okay, Prophet actually scouting this out with the treant. Protecting his Chen. Chen's still being a little dangerous. I'm a little worried about this Chen right now. So it looks like it's going to be Link soloing the top lane against this Windrunner. Windrunner definitely has the edge in this matchup because of that much longer auto attack range, and I believe she's got higher base damage as well. Slightly higher base damage. The only time Link's going to be able to harass her is with that Venomous Gale. He's already used one. Once he gets the wards leveled up enough, he should be just fine, but until then he's going to have to play it pretty safe. One of the nice things about this dual jungle strategy is it allows your support Tidehunter to get a little more XP without stealing any XP from the other lanes. So Shadow Shaman's going to get some fast levels, Venomancer's going to get some fast levels, and Priestess of the Moon, well, it looks like a little action bottom. They go onto the Faceless Void. I don't think that was the correct choice there, as he can always time leap out. Or time walk out. Sorry, I missed it. First blood on the top lane. Furion with a nice TP gank is going to be taking out Link on that Venomancer. So Link just got a little too low, and that solo mid Prophet showing his power. 1 point in the Sprout, 1 point in the TP, and picks up the first blood. Crystal Maiden trying to help out her Chen here as he looks to farm, but Enchantress can always steal these creeps. I'm a little surprised she's not doing it now, actually. She can only... Why is she not stealing this one? I'm not sure. In any case, she's going to back off. Looks like the creeps are doing the tango here, but they should be fine. In terms of this bottom lane, let's just do a quick farm check. Void up to 10 creeps, so getting some good farm thus far. And Shadow Shaman leading the Dire with 12, so looks like a slight farming edge for the Dire, but nothing too much to worry about yet. That first blood is going to be a much bigger concern. At this point, we would expect to see the gold, yep, just a little bit in favor of the Radiant. Yeah, I'm not sure how effective Prophet will be in terms of stopping the Shadow Shaman's push, though. Yeah, he's got the treants, but Aether Shock is really good against those, and Shadow Shaman doesn't care if you've got a bunch of extra minions, he'll just nuke them all down. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. And Prophet also does not really have a good way to deal with those wards. Shadow Shaman, great way to play the solo mid Shadow Shaman. Spam that Ether Shock, and then use it to get control of the runes. Although that rune was actually sitting around for a minute and a half. I can't believe Prophet had vision that and didn't pick it up. Angel going to get a kill here on the bottom lane on Crystal Maiden. Tidehunter is the reply. Angel might be in danger here. Going to get Sprouted. Has already used his leap, so he's not going to get out. Tries to tango his way out. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Loda out of mana. Angel going to go down. Rise on the retreat. Rise should be able to get away. So the Radiant really taking advantage of this Furion. Doing a great job of that. And the offensive jungling started off pretty well for the Enchantress. Was really denying the Chen. But it's now backfired a bit, and is going to end up costing that Priestess of the Moon her life. And the most important thing about that gank is that it's going to give Faceless Void, Loda on that Faceless Void, a little more time to free farm. Looks like M does not have a Rune Ward, so he's actually just guessing right now. They put this Magic Bush Ward here. For anyone who doesn't know, it's called the Magic Bush Ward because it's the only place in the game where you can block 2 creep spawns from 1 ward. So it blocks this camp. It should block this camp, although I don't think he placed it exactly right. Or maybe it doesn't work in Dota 2. In Dota 1 you can definitely do this. So I'm not sure which explanation is accurate here. But either way, that denies the Rune Ward, so he's got to guess. He's going to get it in this case, so not too big of a deal. Actually, Prophet stole that one. Shadow Shaman was walking down there, but wasn't able to get there in time. Looks like Loda's a little bit... He's got to play a little defensive here. Tidehunters... And they don't have a ward either, so Loda doesn't know what's going on. Prophet TP's in on the Venomancer. Venomancer going to tango his way out. That's his last tango, though. Link probably going to have to send himself another set, or else he's going to be in trouble the next time Prophet comes to gank him. Whenever you're playing versus a good Prophet, you absolutely must carry tangos or have a Quelling Blade in order to escape those ganks. Unfortunately, the downside of Prophet going for that gank is he leaves the middle lane empty. And Shadow Shaman drops the ward. It's going to be tanking the tower so the wards don't die. Windrunner going to be TPing in mid to try and protect this. But the ward's not in range of Windrunner. Windrunner probably going to be killing Shadow Shaman. He pops the haster and he should be okay. Shadow Shaman, you better not eat this power shot. He's going to narrowly avoid it. He comes back in. He really wants this kill as well as the tower. Another Ether Shot going to do the trick there. Just so much nuke damage. 320 already. Shadow Shaman going to be able to get out. So really, not going to be able to get out. Prophet with a very timely TP back in.
Physical existence.
Not choosing to max the TP first, but it's not going to matter. Meanwhile, the tower goes down, so they're missing the deny. I don't think that kill was worth it. In terms of gold, it certainly wasn't. They do get a little more experience. But that's something to be concerned about. That middle tower already being down, it's going to free up Shadow Shaman to roam. He's got his mana boots already, so it's going to give him even more ability to support these side lanes. In terms of, just doing a quick check on the gold graph, it's dipped below 1,000 for the Dire on the back of that tower kill. Link has his mana boots. They have a lot of mana boots right now, which means they can push extremely hard and spam all their spells at will. Shadow Shaman coming top immediately. But without the wards, he's going to have a hard time pushing against the Windrunner. Although they do have the Plague Wards, so that's something to be watching as well. Link, interestingly, not maxing the Plague Wards first. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think you really want to max those when you're running a push lineup. The Venomous Scale goes out, but they're not going to be able to catch this Windrunner. She does pop the Windrunner. She'll be okay. Problem is the tower's being pressured. Meanwhile, Action top, 2-man Chronosphere. Where's the Lich ultimate? Just kidding, Lich isn't in this game because he was banned. Loda actually going to go down, or going to eat an arrow there. M just running away to make sure Priestess of the Moon can get out. If you know you're dead and you can't get a kill, just run as far away from your team as possible so they can't kill you and possibly your teammate. Smart play there by the Tidehunter. And the trade-off is going to be another tier 1 tower. I think that's honestly worth it. But Prophet and Chen are here, so they're ready to reply with a tower push of their own. Level 5 Mirana not going to be able to do anything against this push. Needs to actually back out. She might be in some trouble. She's going to get... I think she's going down here. Where's the Frostbite? They're waiting for the leap. No Frostbite, so she's going to get out. You can actually leap while you're frostbitten, I believe. So Crystal Maiden clearly waiting for that to pop it off, but just was not able to keep up. So a tower trade here. Link is going to continue pushing top. I don't think tower trades really work for the Dire right now. They're behind on hero kills. They don't have as good late game. And their carry is not farming that well. Mirana's only got 28 creeps, and she's 1-1 with no assists, so... to have any chance of out-carrying that Faceless Void in the late game, you really have to have a good start.
Invisibility.
Faceless Void eating a Venomous Gale here. Link perhaps thinking about popping off that ultimate, but Void not quite low enough to justify it. Might look for another Gale and then pop it. Looks like the Dire are grouping up here. Really want to push this bottom tower. Sitting around a 2,000 gold lead, so they're only up one tower, but they're up an extra 1,000 gold, so really, I guess they're farming better. Yeah, Shadow Shaman with 47 creeps, Venomancer with 34. They have 4 heroes farming quite well. Chen really does not have much farm, even though he does have the 2 kills. Tidehunter comes in from the rear, he pops off a Gush, but he still doesn't have the ultimate. Meanwhile, Venomancer pressuring the top lane, so the Radiant's really going to have to choose. Void cannot defend this tower. I mean, it's at least going to take some damage. Crystal Maiden getting gushed off, she's going to go down, but the wards were wasted on a hero kill. I don't think I agree with that choice, because now they're not going to be able to push this tower. I think the towers at this point are way more important for the Dire than the hero kills. Every time you pop the Shadow Shaman wards, you really want to be getting a tower or maybe a Roshan kill. And they're going to try and push now, but Windrunner's just going to power shot through those creeps, hitting all 3 heroes, so that's probably going to force a retreat here. Mirana opting for Phase Boots, going for a bit more of a mid-game build. Normally you'd see the Agility Treads, or the Strength Treads, which give you a little more attack speed, which scales better into the late game than the raw plus damage of the Phase Boots, but perhaps realizing she's not going to outcarry this Void with her somewhat suboptimal farm. Gonna opt for that early game aggression. Looking to set up something on Chen here. I don't think this is a wise choice. She's really far in. Void's got his ultimate if he needs it, but I don't think Loda wants to pop it off. We're gonna see a Shackle Shot here. We're gonna see a Shackle Shot here. No mana for Shackle Shot. Goes for the power shot, picks up the kill. Mirana being really aggressive. This is gonna backfire big time for Angel. He's probably going down here. Actually eats his way out. Should be okay. Pycat not gonna be able to kill him. No urn charges yet. But meanwhile, Crystal Maiden on the chase. Level 1 leap, not going to save you now. The Frostbite comes out. The Prophet Illusion's doing the work. Will Angel get away? These Phase Boots might just be what he needs to save his life. The power shot. Great power shot from Windrunner. What a play. Link is just being a real pain in the butt in this top lane. Looks like he's going to be rushing the mecha. While he's being a pain in the butt, he's not doing too much damage to the tower. You see this from a hero like Broodmother a lot. Just sitting in the lane. Really hard to kill. Constantly pressuring the tower. The problem is Venomancer does not scale as well into the late game as Broodmother, and he's also not pushy as hard as a Broodmother might, so it's something to keep an eye on. Windrunner trying for the hack Shackle Shot onto the creep to latch on a Venomancer, not going to get it. Looks like Pycat looking to get a little push going here mid. Enchantress has opted for the Strength Treads, so going for a little bit more late game, a little bit more damage output with that attack speed. They don't want to get 3 sets of mana boots because they don't really need them. 2 should be sufficient. Tidehunter might get some as well anyway. Bunch of XP heroes grouped up here. They want to. This guy wants to hit a Nicorai wants to hit a Shackle Shot. Not going to get it. Chronosphere going out, only hitting 1, just missing the Priestess of the Moon. There's going to be the arrow. Void might be in trouble. Backtracking everything. Really, Loda really getting lucky with his backtracks. He's almost... Mecha gets popped off, I believe, in that fight. Not sure. Void might go down anyway. Not going to be able to backtrack that one. And Pycat should be TPing out. Looks like there's a pause. Or just some... I guess I'm just lagging. Sorry about that, guys. Not sure what's going on. In any case, it looks like Shadow Shaman went down in exchange for Void. Normally I would say that's a good trade. You know, you're getting their best late game hero, their carry, for only a support pushing type hero. The problem is they use the Shadow Shaman wards to do it, so they're not going to push. And with this earlier lineup, again, I can't stress the importance of using those wards to get towers. As the game grows later, they're going to have a harder time pushing them. Once Void gets some items, he's not really farming very well though, so that's something positive for the Radiant, or for the Dire rather. Void comes back in. He's being so aggressive on this Void. Just constantly trying to gank, really not farming at all. Arrow's going to hit him. DD Prophet comes in. Link is definitely dead here. Pycat going to change targets. Angel going to leap out. He's going to be fine. Meanwhile, Shadow Shaman going to come mid. Does not have the wards. Cannot really push. He's going to do some damage to the creeps, but you know the tower is just too strong right now. And the creep waves aren't big enough. getting some people reporting the stream is not working. I'm just going to check real quick. If it is working, please let me know in IRC. So, it looks like a little... Oh, apparently my stream did go down, so sorry about that, guys. I will restart it now.